What do you think of the Casey Anthony case?
The legal system didn't do their job. They didn't prove her guilty. You know, you have to prove them guilty. With reasonable doubt, they weren't able to prove it.
She's gonna live the life now, though.
Gonna make a lot of money.
She's gonna make a ton of money.
She's gonna make a ton of money. I hope she didn't do it. I mean, who knows what happened? I don't know what happened. But
did she put duct tape on her child's mouth before she died? Is that what they were saying?
you really have to be careful of the media. You know, they also said she put a little heart or something on there. It's like me, like killing you, taping your mouth shut with duct tape, and then drawing a little heart there. The heart was totally fabricated. That was for sure. I think the duct tape was real. I don't know.
My only thinking is maybe if her child was drowned or whatever. I didn't pay attention to the case. But if her child drowned, I guess your first response would be to try to have them come back to life. So you'd call 911 immediately. But I guess what if you left them alone too long and you just knew they were dead? Then you'd get scared, probably. But it's your fault because you should have been paying attention. But what do you do in that situation? Like, you can't keep your eyes on the kids for, like...
It's still an accident. I mean, it's still an accident. It's like these people that drive to work and forget that their husband didn't take the kid to daycare, that they actually had the baby in the back of their car. Then they go into work. Like the one woman, she was like, worked for the school system, I think in Florida a couple of years ago. She was driving to work. She had her wits about her. She stopped for donuts for other people at the school. She stopped and got donuts, got out of the car, went into the school, worked for her 7-8 hour shift, came back out and realized that she had her baby in the back of the car.
Was it dead?
It was dead, of course. It was hot.
Ooh.
It was unintentional. It wasn't her routine every day to take the baby. Like, they make you put the baby in the back of the car now. They don't want the baby in the front. Well, what happens is when you start driving...
what if it's like someone like me? I've never had a child before. I wouldn't... I don't know. I would think that you would remember. But I guess if it's like at a certain point...
The rule of thumb is that it used to be, when I was a young girl, people actually would go home from the hospital with the baby on their lap in the front seat. There weren't even car seats, or there may have been, but typically, like way back in the day, there weren't car seats, and not everybody even wore a seatbelt, but you just carried the little baby in the front seat on the way home. Then it became that you put the car seat in the car. That was a smart thing to do, and you put the baby in the car seat. Then they said, well, don't have the car seat forward facing, you need to flip it so that the child is more protected. Then all of a sudden they said, you shouldn't have the baby in the front seat, you should have the baby in the back seat with the car flipped. Well, once you put a baby in the back seat with the car flipped, or I don't think they require the seat flipped in the back seat.
I think it is flipped.
Crazy.
It's flipped until, like, when they're a baby. I was just with Angie. It's flipped.
It's flipped in the back seat. Well,
but Sydney's in the back seat too, and she's 2, so she's facing forward.
Right.
But the baby is in a little
car seat flipped.
Yeah.
Well, but if you just had the baby and your routine varied, like if it wasn't always every day the same, sometimes maybe you had a babysitter at home, sometimes your husband took the baby, sometimes you took the baby, and you're busy and you have a lot going on, it seems like unbelievable, but the baby falls asleep back there and you aren't hearing anything, and your mind is like, you know, you're kind of sleep deprived and have a lot on your mind or whatever. I can't really see it. I've never done it. But I kind of can understand how that could happen unintentionally. I don't think that's what happened with Casey Anthony, but, you know, wasn't anything like that. It probably was a situation where she had a boyfriend that wasn't interested in dealing with a family life. She had the family. She was having like a little bit of a problem with her mom. She got in a fight with her mom. She took off with the baby. The baby is like holding her back from being able to party. So maybe she thought if she drugged the baby a little bit or whatever, it would just fall asleep so she could party. And then maybe she just went overboard, or who knows?
Well, I see a lot of, when you go out, I see a lot of people that I feel as though they shouldn't be going out because they have children, but maybe they're single with children, you just know. But I don't know. I just don't feel like they should be going out.
Well, once you commit to that, you know, it's like
You're
your
with
life
it.
is changing. You know, your life is going to change
Well,
dramatically.
what if I guess those people didn't necessarily, maybe they tried to keep a boyfriend that way or something like that.
Well, if you're a girl and you're 22 years old and you're a real homebody and you love watching movies at night at home and you love just cooking and staying home or whatever.
How old is Casey Anthony? She
She
looked
was
older to me.
22 whenever her child died.
Oh,
so
really?
She probably had her when she was 20.
I didn't really get a good look at her.
I think she's 25 now.
Okay. She's gonna be rich.
Well, I think they're going to make her life kind of difficult. I think people are going to make her life.
The people are gonna have to pay her to come on talk shows. People don't realize that they're gonna boycott like things like magazines with her on it and stuff like that. But she's still gonna get paid to go on these shows and stuff.
I heard that Justin Bieber was just on the cover of Vanity Fair magazine, and it was the worst sales of Vanity Fair magazine ever. Because what they were doing, they were soliciting.
Isn't Vanity Fair like for old women?
Yeah. Vanity Fair is not even a magazine I would probably look at, and I'm 55. Vanity Fair is like an older woman's magazine, I think. I mean, I'm not 100%, call me wrong, but it isn't a magazine that I think...
I saw a poster of him. He's cute.
He's cute, yeah. But it was like the wrong match with the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But I think more interesting is the Dugard girl is going to be in People magazine that's coming out. What was her name? The Dugard, where she was abducted when she was a child and then forced to live with this man and woman and then had 2 babies.
With the man? That's sick.
That is really sick. Well, she got 20 million. I think she got 20 million from the state or from the government or whatever.
For not finding her?
They were right there. They were right at her house. They never helped her. They never looked for her. They didn't do their job. And so, so she was left in that situation for like 20 years or 18 years or something. I mean, a crazy amount of time. And so then I think she got 20 million, but like that's nothing.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but
you know, like you can't put a price on that.
You can't be. That's worth 100 million. You know, that's worth 100 million. But they probably didn't.
But you're probably so messed up after that. Money doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, but she can make money in other ways too, because people will be totally fascinated by that story.
That's sick.
It's sick. It's crazy. I mean, how horrible is that?
Those kids are the guy's kids then?
That's the bad thing.
So does she like them?
I'm sure she loves her children. Hopefully they're more her than him. You know, hopefully they're more her than him.